Ever since I started teaching the Agile Facilitator class, I gained a newfound appreciation for what it takes to really be an effective facilitator. So, I learned quickly that being a facilitator isn't about having all the answers or being the smartest person in the room. It's about decentering yourself to help teams unlock clarity, alignment, and potentially their best ideas. To do that, you need to kind of dial into your EQ and other intangibles like helping people feel more comfortable, as well as your familiarity with methods and techniques that diffuse drama, neutralize politics, and tap into each person's true creativity. Whether you've been facilitating for a long time or you're just dipping your toe in the water, I wanted to identify five, we'll just call it, I don't know, superpowers. Five powers that will help elevate your ability to successfully guide people through the winding road of decision making, ideation, and problem solving, all in a spirit of helping each other do our best work. So, number one, the keys to unlock team creativity. Most people have been socialized to think that creativity is something you either have or you don't. This line of thinking isn't conducive to doing great work because your participants can't tap into genuine exploration if they feel judged, stifled, or unqualified to share their ideas. As a facilitator, it's your job to diffuse this thinking by using methods that demystify creativity. Activities like rapid idea generation, sketching exercises, lightning demos, and more. These make a huge difference in your team's ability to explore solutions and unleash those ideas. Right? How about number two? Engagement maximizer, disruption diffuser. Let's be honest, there's only so much you can control when you're leading a group of people, and that includes whether or not someone shows up to your session with a bad attitude. However, as a facilitator, it's your job to create an environment where people who have a history of friction can work together successfully. To do this, you have to make sure that your sessions include the following. You need to make sure that you're clarifying every attendee's purpose so they know their role and why they're there. You need to include structured methods that help set the tone for interaction. Democratize feedback, sharing and ideation, and diffuse derailing questions. Remove distractions, especially things like technology if you can. Have a contingency plan on how you're going to handle an unruly participant if you need to call an audible and address distracting behavior on the spot. This shouldn't happen, but if it does, you need to know what to do. Let's jump to number three. Number three is the ability to help people feel comfortable. People who feel comfortable with one another and you, the facilitator, are way more likely to collaborate with ease, work together seamlessly, and do their best work. That's why this superpower is so important. It can sometimes feel intangible, though, but there's a list of actions you can take and little things that you should pay attention to so that your superpower just comes along more naturally. Let's start by warming up. Participants often need a moment to transition into a session, especially if they're moving from one meeting to the next. Sending a screaming child to school, cleaning up spilled coffee, and so on. That is that moment. Never underestimate the power of an icebreaker to kickstart a conversation. So, one of the things I heard one of my students talking about today in class was normalizing stupid questions. I'll kick things off by asking a stupid question. And if you question yourself and show that you're vulnerable, it allows you to lead with something fun that's uplifting, that just gets the conversation moving and gives people a sense of relief that they're not going to say something worse than what you said. Of course, you need to manage the politics. Look into funky group dynamics or politics. Anytime you're doing facilitation, you're going to run into this. You just need to determine what the root cause is and determine what you're going to do to make a safe space. How about taking breaks? One of the things that I've discovered when I do my long work days is that I take at least one morning break, at least two afternoon breaks, and a lunch break. And what I find is that by keeping people keeping people fed so they're not hungry, keeping people hydrated so they're not thirsty, this allows them to naturally have breaks when they need them, and it allows them to stay focused for longer because they're getting up right at the right time to stretch their legs and do what they need to do to keep moving, right? So you need to make sure you allow people to grab water, use the restroom, anything else that they need to support their needs. And then finally, you can use active listening as well to help with this. So this is where it's not just receiving information, but you need to synthesize it, play it back, paraphrase it, do everything you can to build trust. If you can build trust, you're good to go. All right, let's talk about number four, a curiosity mindset. That's quite the superpower. At the beginning of my career, I thought I needed to know every single answer, and I took it personally in a session if it detoured or went away from the original plan. Now I know that these are classic characteristics of a performance mindset. They stand in the way of effective leadership. They can stand in the way of effective leadership and team success. But being able to unlock possibilities for your team requires you to shift your attitude across several dimensions so you can move away from being a performer and into the role of the curious guide, the curiosity mindset. Those are things that are going to help you really move. Okay, coming in at number 5, high EQ and the vulnerability to pivot when needed. To build on this superpower, part of making your workshop or whatever you're doing a success is having the EQ to know when you need to adjust in real time. It keeps your team at the center of the work and shows that you have their best interests and session outcomes in mind. Even the most intentional, expertly crafted workshop designs can't anticipate how a session might need to deviate to better support the group's needs. Getting the desired outcome really depends on receptivity and flexibility so that you can pivot to support what you need when you need it. Okay? So, a big piece of this is taking an advantage and understanding what those skills are, but then more importantly, learning how to activate those skills, because it's not until you understand the skills and can activate them that you discover what you really can do. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.